അമേരിക്കയുടെ തലസ്ഥാനമായ വാഷിംഗ്ടൺ DC-യിലുള്ള നാഷണൽ പ്രസ് ക്ലബ്ബുമായി രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധി നടത്തുന്ന ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന്റെ മൂന്നാം ഭാഗമാണ് ഇത്. ഇവിടെ ഒരു കാര്യം വളരെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ടത്, ഒരു ചോദ്യങ്ങളും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് മുൻകൂട്ടി അറിവുള്ളവയല്ല എന്നുള്ളതും അതിന് അദ്ദേഹം പറയുന്ന മറുപടികൾ എഴുതി വായിക്കുന്നവയല്ല, മറിച്ച് സ്വന്തം അറിവിലും അനുഭവത്തിൽ നിന്നും വരുന്നവയുമാണ് എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധിയുടെ എല്ലാ പ്രസംഗങ്ങളും യാതൊരു സ്ക്രിപ്റ്റും ഇല്ലാതെ ഉള്ളതാണ്. ഇതിൽ പല ചോദ്യങ്ങളും ഓഡിയൻസിൽ നിന്ന് വന്നതാണ്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ മോദിയിൽ പ്രഷർ ചെലുത്താൻ അമേരിക്കയോട് ആവശ്യപ്പെടുമോ, പാകിസ്ഥാനിൽ നിന്നുള്ള ഭീകരാക്രമണത്തെ ചെറുക്കാൻ ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ സഹായം ആവശ്യപ്പെടുമോ തുടങ്ങിയ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾക്ക് മന്ദഭക്തർ പറയുന്ന പോലെയുള്ള രീതിയിലല്ല രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധിയുടെ മറുപടി എന്നുള്ളത് വ്യക്തമായി കേൾക്കാൻ മറക്കരുത്. ഒരു യഥാർത്ഥ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്സ്മാൻ ഇങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കണം. രാജ്യത്തെ സംബന്ധിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാ വിഷയങ്ങളിലും ഇതുപോലെ ആഴത്തിൽ അറിവും ബോധ്യവും ഉള്ളവനും ആയിരിക്കണം. രാജ്യത്തിന്റെ പുരോഗതിക്കും ജനങ്ങളുടെ നന്മയ്ക്കും വിദേശങ്ങളിൽ രാജ്യത്തിന്റെ യശസ് ഉയർത്തുന്നതിനും ഇതുപോലെയുള്ള ആളുകളാണ് ലോ മേക്കേഴ്സ് ആവേണ്ടത്. അല്ലാതെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസവും വിവരവുമില്ലാത്ത മതവിദ്വേഷവും ഫേക്ക് ന്യൂസുകളും പ്രചരിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ ആവരുത്.
So you say, democracy is being attacked, and I've had this conversation with Mr. Petroda, that the Indian voter is very resilient and very knowledgeable. It's not, and if you see the election results, does it give you more hope for democracy in India?
It does. Look, but okay. It's not good enough to say that the Indian voter is resilient and knowledgeable, because the Indian voter is informed by a whole set of structures, right? So if we don't have a level playing field, the voter might be very knowledgeable and and resilient. It doesn't really matter. We fought an election with our bank accounts frozen. I don't know any democracy where that's happened. Maybe that type of thing happens in Syria or used to happen in Iraq. But we literally sat during our election and spoke to our treasurer, and he says, well, we have no money, right? Now, you can have a resilient voter. You still need to run campaigns. You still need to have conversations. You still need to have meetings. Right? I've got 20 plus cases with me. I'm the only person in Indian history to get a prison sentence for defamation. We have a chief minister who's in jail right now. So, one way of saying it is, yes, the Indian voter is very resilient, and he stands like a rock. Absolutely, he does. But the Indian voter requires an architecture to work on, which is not there.
But would you say that Indian democracy is resilient and it can't be broken?
Well, I can say to you that Indian democracy for the last 10 years was broken.
But it's on a upward trajectory.
It's fighting back, but it was broken. I have seen the government of Maharashtra just being taken away from us. So I've seen it with my own eyes. I've watched it as our legislators have been bought and hooked off and suddenly became BJP legislators. So Indian democracy has been under attack, has been very badly weakened, and now it's fighting back, and I'm confident that it'll fight back.
Okay. U.S. is scheduled for elections very, very soon. How do you think Trump and Harris will differ on India policy? And do you think one is better for India?
I don't think they'll differ very much on India policy. I don't know.
You don't?
I think on both sides, there's basic acceptance of the relationship between these two countries. So I don't think we'll differ very much from Mr. Modi on this issue. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the Democrats or the Republicans will differ very much.
Okay.
Certainly on the fundamental idea that India is a partner, I don't think there'll be any disagreement.
Another one from the audience. Does the Congress Party believe that the caste census is the antidote to the BJP RSS Hindutva politics? And is the Congress acknowledging the way forward is a revival of the Mandal Kamandal discourse?
No, I don't think we see it as anything to do with the BJP's policies. The Congress Party has always, right from even before independence, we've always fought for the idea that India should be a fair country. The idea that all India's citizens should be treated the same way. And so we feel very strongly that there is a very, very deep problem of participation, and we're going to address that problem. I don't see it as a Mandal versus Kamandal issue. And what we're saying is different than the idea of only reservations. What we're saying is we want a comprehensive understanding first of what's going on, and then we're going to apply a series of policies to correct it, reservation being one of them. We've also said that we're going to, somebody misquoted me yesterday saying that I'm against reservations. I've been saying again and again and again, we're going to increase reservations beyond 50%, and I'm not against reservations.
But do you think they should be economic based?
Our caste is a central issue in India. It's a fundamental issue in India. I don't think the idea of untouchability exists anywhere else, right? Untouchability is way beyond an economic idea. It is, you simply cannot be touched. So I don't think it's only an economic idea. I think it's discrimination on many different axes.
So your grandmother, Indira Gandhi, was instrumental in the liberation of Bangladesh, and Manmohan Singh government also had good relations with former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. What's your perspective on the newly formed interim government in Bangladesh, and how do you see India's relationship with Bangladesh evolving? Do you think it should be party-oriented or people-oriented?
We have a old relationship with the people of Bangladesh, and you're right, my grandmother was deeply involved with the creation of Bangladesh. I think there are concerns in India about extremist elements in Bangladesh. We share some of those concerns. However, I'm confident that things will stabilize in Bangladesh and that we would be able to have a relationship with the current government or any other government after that.
So in your meetings on Capitol Hill with lawmakers, was Bangladesh a focus of your discussions, particularly the attacks on minorities?
We raised it, and they also spoke to us. Look, we are against any type of violence, and we want it to stop. And it's the responsibility, frankly, of the Bangladeshi government to stop it as soon as possible. And from our side, it's the responsibility of our government to put pressure so that violence stops.
Some observers say the U.S. should exert more pressure on Prime Minister Modi, but others say external pressure makes little difference. What is your view, and what do you think the U.S. posture should be toward India today?
Pressure on what?
On Mr. Modi?
About what?
About whatever the criticisms are against Mr.
What are they?
You know better.
No, I'm asking. I don't. What are the criticisms? It's interesting you can't say it.
I don't want to say it.
Yeah, it's interesting you don't want to say it.
Democratic.
I mean, we're supposed to have a freewheeling, free press conversation, but you don't want to say it. That's interesting to me.
Democratic backsliding, persecution of minorities.
Yeah, look.
Freedom of press.
The fight for democracy in India is an Indian fight. It's, with all due respect, it's nothing to do with anybody else. It's our problem, and we'll take care of it. We'll fight, and we will make sure that democracy is secure. However, it's important to understand that Indian democracy is more than just any normal democracy because of its size. And if you're talking about a democratic vision of the world, then Indian democracy has a large space in that vision. I think it's important that the world sees Indian democracy as an asset, not just for India, but for the rest of the world. Advising the United States on how they should deal with Mr. Modi is not my preserve. It's not my space.
All right. So how do you see relations with Pakistan? Is the Kashmir issue holding the two nuclear nations back?
No, Pakistan's instigation of terrorism in our country is holding the two countries back. We are not going to accept Pakistan carrying out terror acts in our country. We're just not going to accept it. And until they keep doing that, there's going to be problems between us.